Happy Tuesday! How's everybody doing? Motivating the Motivator. It is Tuesday at 6:30 on the East Coast in the US of A. So that means it's time for us to find out about yet another person that motivates me. It's not really, by the way, it's not only just motivation, it is inspiration. It is, oh my gosh, just learning, hello, just making sure that you all understand that motivation and inspiration comes from so many different places and from so many different people. And yes, Black women, women of color, that's us. So it's not just for us to say, hey, we're motivating each other, but I'm out here to give you all a little something and get you all motivated as well. So I'm feeling a little extra good. I was at the beach today because I needed to pour into my cup. So I needed to feed myself. I'm really good at making sure everybody's fed, everybody's good. Hey, today I needed to do that for myself. So that is what I did today. And I mentioned that one of the things that we all need to do is to make sure we fill up our own cups, is to make sure that we deal with, oh, there's my cutie pie. I was just telling everybody, hey cutie.
Hey, hello, hi.
I was just letting everybody know I was at the beach today.
I know, I saw.
I know, right? So I was talking about filling up my cup because I have to, we're really good at making sure everybody else is good. And then,
Hell yeah, my cup is always empty, but everyone else is full.
So, and I mentioned that today because it's going to really be woven in with our conversation today.
Yeah.
Like the physical feeding, because this is what she does too. But then the other, yes. So the physical feeding, but also how to feed yourself. And we're going to be talking about mental health and all that. We're gonna be getting close to home for us and close to home probably for a lot of you as well. So with that said, I want everybody to, and I also mentioned the time because I was like, it's 6:30 p.m. on the East Coast in the US of A. And I said it like that because she is not here. She is not in the US of A. So Danielle Cousins-Coleman, where are you coming in from, baby?
From Iceland, which is on GMT time. It's too northwest to be considered Western time. So it's like us in Greenland are the only people on this time zone. There was like 3 other countries in like the Faroe Islands, but it's just us. And it's
I love it.
At night here now.
Oh, so, wait, is that night? So it's not really.
Yeah, this is 10:30.
Oh,
It'll get.
I love it though. I have not been to Iceland yet.
You're gonna come.
You know, we've already discussed this. You know I'm coming. So
yes, we're gonna come do yoga retreats here, please.
That's right. I hear that. There's gonna be a yoga retreat in Iceland. I'm gonna do it.
Yes.
Yes, I am. So speaking of yoga, let's start with that. Let's start with yoga because that's how I know this beautiful human being over here.
Yes, I am.
Yes. So let's first of all, who is Danielle? Who are you, Mama? Let's tell the people who you are.
Danny is a 32-year-old lady who is from Bergen County, New Jersey. I'm Filipino and Nigerian, and I'm adopted into a Jewish white family. But my dad is Nigerian, and I live a very interesting free lifestyle. I do yoga in my free time, and I paint in my free time, and I own a soup business, and I travel the world every opportunity that I can.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, I'm basically a proud Leo. So all my Leos out there, hello.
Uh-oh.
And we're welcoming a new Leo moon energy tonight. So I hope everyone is feeling it.
You Leos are insufferable. You know that, right? Y'all always like, it's Leo season.
It is Leo season. It's Leo moon. It's Leo rising. We're coming for you guys. We're taking you all with us. But yeah, so that is me in a nutshell. And I met Latifa in yoga, and it was one of my best eavesdropping experience that I had. she had just come back from Morocco, and I was totally eavesdropping on our conversation.
Yes, you are.
And I was like, "Do you want to be my best friend?" And I've been obsessed with her ever since. So
I know. And every time she would be in my class, it was hot yoga. It wasn't just any yoga. It was hot,
yes.
hot yoga.
Hot yoga.
Hot. And she always had the spot in the corner by the window.
Always front left corner.
Always there. And I would come in and I'd see you in that corner. I was like you just have this energy that is just, I adore you.
Thank you. Oh, Brandon,
absolutely.
one of like my favorite customers from Montclair just popped in. Like, I see you.
Nice. I love it. I love it.
Something built. Hit up Brandon. But yeah,
Ooh.
I just love to live life, and I love to feed people and be around good energy. And I think it's really important, though, to also appreciate and understand your shadow work, because not everything's going to be light and easy all the time. So I've just been a woman who's really been exploring every aspect of herself in the past 4 years. It's been quite a trip, man.
I know it. Oh my God, I know it has been. Well, let me go back to the eavesdropping, because that's a good word to use for how I found out what you do or did. Do you still do the soups? Or
yeah, so actually I'm becoming international. Soups is still happening. I just celebrated owning it for the 3rd year. I bought it about 3 years ago, but I've been with the company for 8. And we are at 5 markets now, and I have a full team of ladies that are helping me run it while I'm still here in Iceland. So we are still in full swing at every market. And
okay, wait, go back a little bit. Tell everybody because we're like soups. Like,
so
what's the name of it? And yeah,
it's called Food Me Soups. I specialize in vegan and gluten-free. But I do also do some bone broths, and we do some chickens, and
they're so good.
Charlie's.
Yeah,
but
so good.
It's like, and we sell them at markets. I sell them in pints and quarts. They're frozen to take home, and it's letting people know that fast food can be healthy. It doesn't have to be bad for you just because it's fast. And I love what I do.
I know you do.
So I specialize in farmer markets. I do, like I said, about 5 a week, spread between Bergen County and the Montclair area. And yeah, and I'm bringing it to Iceland. So I will be still running it in America and in Iceland during this transition.
You are international. You're a business owner.
Yes, I am. I'm very proud.
We are all about that entrepreneur life. And this is how that's how she found out that she wanted to be my best friend. And here I'm like, she kept saying, oh, it's soup season. And I'm like, of course, we all eat soup now. But I'm like, oh, wait. It's really soup season.
It is full on soup season.
Yes, and yes, Brandon is right. They are fire. Her soups are amazing.
Thank you.
You got me through COVID. You got me through quarantine.
Yeah.
With those soups, yeah.
I actually was quarantine. I took it as a blessing. I told everybody that, that I was close with and friends with. You can look at 2020 as look at everything bad that's happening, or you can see it as a slingshot opportunity and use the pause to propel forward. Momentum keeps going. Movement is clutch. And COVID came to that point, I feel like, for a lot of small business owners, where it was either you work harder or you're going to close up shop. There is no in between. It's either you adapt to your new surroundings or you're going to close. And I adapted, and it became the smartest thing I could have done. I was able to get more customers and connect closer to people. I became better acquainted with all my customers. It became a full-on personal connection, and it was awesome. And they're so supportive now. I just know COVID, it made me in the business a lot stronger. So took it for the blessings that it was,
I love it. I know it's such a crazy time. It's such a hard time. And there are ways, some people just have no choice of how this time is going to go for them, because some of them they're sick. So you can't really, but for those of us who were in quarantine, like our only thing was quarantine, it really was up to you, the best you can.
Yeah.
You know, what's your choice? What's your decision? How are you going to get through this? Because it is getting through this because we're still in it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's really funny. Everyone's just like, oh, warm weather, summer's here, it's gone. Like, psych, what? No, it's still
Did
here.
I miss something? No.
Like, I didn't realize just because it became 70 degrees, we were just going to forget that this thing was still here. But I
I
know everyone's
know.
sick of it. We all want to move on. That's not the point. Like, point
Yes,
is, it's still here. Like,
it's still here. And yeah, because it was like, look, dude, heat doesn't kill it. If that was the case, it would not be going on in the Middle East, like where
yeah,
it's really,
yeah,
really, really
exactly. Yeah, facts, absolutely.
still there. So
And places like Iceland would not be thriving. So it doesn't make sense that
how
warm
is it in
places.
Iceland? How did they do?
They were doing great until they opened the borders back up for tourists. Obviously, Americans weren't allowed in. I had to get special permission from foreign ambassadors, the embassy, American embassy, and the
Oh,
immigration department, because I'm not a tourist. You know, I'm in a relationship, but for anyone that was trying to travel that wasn't banned, which was European countries, they were able to come. So they went from no cases for 3 months to about 120 cases now, which
oh wow.
to us seems like, oh, like that's nothing, but there were only 343,000 of them. So like, it's a
Yeah.
it's a way bigger deal if something happens here. But unlike us, they realized what was happening and they changed how they were operating a lot quicker.
Right.
It hasn't gone back up in months, so I think they have a pretty good hold on it. But it's nice also to be in an area where it's not the only thing going on. Like, people aren't walking around with masks. I mean, you can choose to wear them. You know, you there's hand sanitizers at every entrance everywhere you go. There's gloves everywhere you go. There are masks offered, but people really aren't using them, and no one's touching. You're keeping your distance and stuff, but it's not like it's nothing compared to what we're dealing with at home. So when I was talking to like Johan, my man, he was just, I can't grasp what you're going through. It's not happening here. And it wasn't. When I got here, I was the only person that was mad.
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay. Oh, we're not doing it. No? Okay. Hello, how are you? Hi. Like, people look at you like, oh, I'm so sorry you're afraid of people. And I'm like, me too. You know?
Yeah, well, we've got a lot of cases, and where you were, where I am, Bergen County has like tons of
We
cases.
were like at the peak, man. We were at the peak before California and Florida passed us.
Yeah, we were at one point like the epicenter. Like it was
nuts.
yeah.
It was absolutely nuts. You know, I had even told them, like, even if I was allowed in the country, I was so hesitant about an airport. You know, just getting on an airplane. I hadn't been on one, and it bugged me because I love to travel. So the fact that something I love to do was giving me anxiety, I don't want to connect fear with anxiety or anxiousness or fear, you know? So I was glad to get a little bit of normalcy back in my life, but I'm still on guard. I'm way more on guard than anyone else, you know?
I know. We all are. I know. We all are.
But it's been nice. It's been nice to get a little.
I know. See, when I was at the beach today, I was like, oh, I'm breathing. You're not near anybody. It's so nice. You're just at the beach. You're just you and the salt air.
Just like being with just you and Earth, and then it's not a scary place. There's this crazy shit happening in the moment.
Yeah.
But, like, Earth itself is not scary, you know? So like, you need those moments to recheck yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about, so you mentioned Iceland. Let's talk about Iceland. Let's talk about why, well, there's a lot when it comes to Iceland. So let's talk about, first of all, why are you in Iceland?
I'm in Iceland because I am moving in with my boyfriend for half the year in Iceland and half the year in America, and we're currently building a house together. So he's building it. I just take pictures and pretend I'm doing things. So I'm like, do you want a sandwich? I can do that. Right. Actually, my goal is, my task this week is I'm painting the window frames around the house, so I'm not useless. You know. But
this is so exciting. I love that. I love it.
Yeah,
So
it was
let
really
so had I already know, but let's tell everybody else. How did you all meet?
so. Full backtrack. I'm like I've talked about it with you. I'm a huge advocate and huge. I'm very open. Mental health issues. I battle. Girl, you name it, I got it. So
Yeah, and we are definitely going to be chatting about that in a second. So
yeah.
yes,
But I
yes,
had to find different ways to cope with things, which is when Latifa had met me, because my neighbor upstairs is actually one of our teachers, Christy.
okay,
And I had gone through a horrible breakup, and those ones where you're just like, oh, my life's over. Luckily for me, it was a blessing in disguise, and my life had just begun. But
yes,
it was like one of those times where it was just like I needed something. So I started going to yoga to pull me out of this dark place. I needed more, and I just hiking and summiting are really nature's my thing. Like if I'm in a bad place, I take my shoes out, put my feet right in the ground, I'm good.
yes, yes.
Real easy, simple things. And I just knew there was something I needed. So I bought a ticket to Iceland and I rented a camper van. Like I didn't know anything
That
about
is
this
so
place.
not what
I was like,
most people are like not saying that.
other girls like cut their hair. I'm like, I bought a plane ticket. I'm
Wait a minute.
out.
Cut my hair.
You're like, other people go through some things, and it's like, oh, I need this, and I was like, I bought a plane ticket. I was like, I rented a van, a camper van, and I'm going. And I was originally going by myself, and like 3 weeks prior to me going, one of my girlfriends was like, I'm coming. I was like, all right, let's go. I knew like 10 things about Iceland. I knew I was going when it was 22 hours of daylight. I knew almost everyone spoke English. I knew that I was a broke ass bitch in this country, okay? Because we are negative $8 to their dollar, okay? So my backpack was full of ramen and rice, okay? I was like, I'm not eating it. I don't care. And I rented a camper van, and we got there and totally forgot I'm in a European country and it's stick. So we learned how to drive stick around the country of Iceland. So we camped the whole country, 8 nights, 9 days. I drove the whole ring, basically. I woke up next to waterfalls and glaciers and hiked until 3 in the morning and did yoga on top of summits and saw nothing but volcanic rock and clouds. Took a couple naked photo shoots on glacier rivers and cried and cried and cried and shed whatever was there. And I looked at my girl and I'm like, I'm gonna live here one day. And she was like, oh, okay, Danielle. Everyone says that on vacation. I went, this isn't vacation. There's something here. And our last night, we returned the camper van and we stayed in the town where the airport is called Keflavik. And I had just been in a van with a girl for 9 days. So I was like, we need to go to a bar.
I need to see a dude.
I don't care who he is. I just want to flirt. But actually, I had walked by this place, and I'm a pub girl. I'm a Guinness girl. I like laid back atmospheres with locals, and I found an Irish pub, and I was like, I'm going. And I walked past the fence, and in between the cracks of a fence, I saw this guy, and I go, I see a guy. I want to go inside and talk to him. And my friend's like, I don't see a person in sight. What are you talking about? And I go, no, between the crack of the fence, look through the fence, and they were playing volleyball in the back. We walked into the bar, and nobody's working it. They're all in the back playing volleyball, and the bartender goes, we're playing a really important game. If you know how to pour your own beer, by all means pour it. If not, I'll be in when the game is over.
Wow.
We are bartenders, my friend and I, at one point in our lives. We poured our own beer, and they came in, and all of his friends were really outgoing and super nice, and he just sat there on the end of the bar, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm like attractive, I'm talking, this is ridiculous. So I walked up to him like, do you speak English? And he was like, yeah. I'm like, why are we not talking? My name is Danny. I'm from America. How are you?
Oh, you're so flirty. I love it. So flirty.
Like the last night I was there. I was on a plane back to America the next morning, and fast forward 3 years later, I'm moving here. So sometimes be aggressive, like do not wait for them to come approach you, because like you can be intimidating to them because we're awesome, and and that's exactly what happened. I'm glad I went for it, and I came back 6 months later to do a Northern Lights hunt with another group of girls. And he was like, take the risk and stay one more day and get to know me. Okay, I did. It worked out. And then 6 months later, I came back because he invited me on a 14-day road trip up to the West Fjords, which is the most isolated part of Iceland. Only 14% of people make it there. And we did a 14. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't travel well with people, even my best friends. So I'm like, if I can survive in a car with this guy.
If I can survive, I'm with him. This is it. We're together, right?
And we did it, yeah. And we did a solid 10 days on the road, and we spent like 3 days just like hanging out. But yeah, now we're happy. Happy little family. We have a cat here named Skogur, which is forest in Icelandic. And I have 2 dogs and a cat in America, and they're gonna come here with me. That's why we're building the extension on the house. So my pointers for this story are: there's nothing wrong with finding love after 30. Don't ever listen to what anybody says to you about that. Being single without having kids and focusing on your career is not selfish. It is the best thing you can do. Fall in love with yourself first, because and learn communication skills. Like, learn what you need. Like, he tried teaching me how to drive the stick the other day. I don't like being taught new things by people that know me. I need a total stranger to tell me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just like, get ready, and we're gonna have an argument. Like, it's gonna happen. But I think really knowing what triggers you is important, and you don't get to know that if you don't take time to get to know yourself. Because this was when the breakup happened when I was 26, and I was like, I'm gonna wait until I'm 30. I need these years to grow. And everyone was like, 30, you're gonna miss out. You're gonna miss your guy. You're gonna miss an opportunity. You're passing chances up because you're so stubborn. No, I'm not the woman I want to be yet. And when I get there, I'll find someone who matches me, doesn't fix me or fill things that are needed. Like, you're going to resonate on the same level as me, and we'll rise up together, because I don't need someone below me or above me. I need someone with me who's going to grow with me. But you need to know yourself in order for that to happen. So the best thing I could have ever done was taken all these trips and these times to be alone, because it helps in the long run with everything, not just your love life, with everything, you know?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, firm belief on that, because everyone, oh, you're 30, like, what is age? What is time? Man, I've been with this man lifetimes over and over again. I have been with him in different dimensions. So if I found him now at 18, 30, or 55, it'd be the same love. So it doesn't need to be by society's time frame. It's okay to be different. It's really okay to be different. So,
I love that you're saying that. I wish I feel that way now. You know,
yeah.
I'm 49 and I feel that way now. I totally wish I understood that. I mean, different people figure it out at different times.
Absolutely.
Hey, my cousin Camille is on. So hey, Debbie. So different people at different times get it. But, you know, every once in a while, I'm like, wow, when I listen to folks in their 30s, and I'm so proud that you are able to get it so early, because a lot of us put these expectations on ourselves based on numbers. Because you're right, it's not the number. If you graduate from college at 75, it is just as important. If you graduate,
it should not take away what it is.
If you start a business at 80, it is just as important if you start a business at 25. So you're so right about that connection to numbers that we have, and we put this importance on it, and it really messes us up. It messes it up. And I love that you're like, okay, one, you don't put the importance on numbers, and two, you're like, I need to be the woman I need to be.
Hell yeah, I'm not trying to be with a broken person. I'm not trying to be broken. I've done that before, you know, and it doesn't lead anywhere than just, you know, you're just,
I know.
We're not our partner's parents. I'm not here to.
Girl, you about to preach. Go ahead. I need a church fan.
I've been with those people where I'm just.
I know.
I'm here to have a family with you. I'm taking care of you. I'm taking care of me. I ain't doing anything. What the hell? Or it's emotional shit or communication stuff, and I'm like, like I said, I have many mental health issues. I got enough shit going on. I cannot be here to hold your hand through everything. I can be here and be supportive, but you I'm not here to tell you what's wrong with you. I'm not here to tell you what you need to fix. You got to know it on your own and be ready to fix it with me. Because, like, I can't, it's exhausting and it burns out. You can love somebody to death, but it will burn out like that. If you're just
my cousin is like, preach. She's like, preach.
You're just, all right. Like, I thought
Yes.
you're supposed to gain energy, receive energy from each other, not take. You don't look to somebody to take or what they can give you. That's not, we're not vessels like that. That's not the kind of vessel you're supposed to use, you know, and there should be an equal exchange of things. It's just, I've been with so many where I was just depleted and I'm like, oh, it's only Monday and I already feel like we've just been through this whole shit, you know? You know, and like long distance with him over 3 years seems like a blink of an eye as compared to someone I was with for like a year, and it just felt like pulling teeth because it was so draining because this person assumed that they could take. They wouldn't have to change. There was nothing else they had to do. And then when you hit that point where you're like, what the fuck? I don't need this. What? And they're like,
right.
What's your problem? Well,
right.
first of all, it's not mine.
It's yours.
It's not my
It's
problem.
your problem. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you're just upset with how I'm receiving it. Bullshit. That's not my problem either. So
yeah.
I really had to taught myself how to let the power of other people's emotions or feelings go. Johan really taught me when I was really upset one day. He goes, you give that emotion power. It's not my job to make you feel better, but I'm here to understand it. But you need to make yourself feel better through that emotion, not me. And that's huge. We hold the power to emotions, not other people. So if someone else makes you sad, it's not that someone made you sad. There's something in you that made you sad with what happened. So really learning to understand emotional communication is major growth at any age. You know, I'm learning to deal with it with my mom right now. You know, it doesn't matter the relationship you have with the person. It needs to be an understanding in everybody. And I'm so happy that my mom and I are getting there now because it was years of just, but that's like us both learning to understand we're not mad at this person. We're obviously mad at how something's made us feel. So that means we got to work on something in here, get through that, and then we can talk about it. You know, you can't blame other people for everything in your life.
Right. Very much so. Oh my God. I do feel like you were just teaching. I'm telling you, I grabbed my church fan.
Yeah. Wait, let me just, the fact that you're just sitting there like, ooh, it's so hot. It was 61 degrees today here. And let me tell you, this country was like, I'm sweating. And I'm like, what's wrong with all of you people? They're like, it's the hottest day this year. And I was like, okay, relax.
It's the hottest day of the year, 61. Girl, 61. I don't know. 61. I'm not going to lie, though. I will go into, where is it? Everybody goes into the big, I'm going to say pond. I sound like an idiot.
The lagoon?
Thank you.
Like, I live like 15 minutes from it. We be there like that.
I can't wait to come see you. Well, how did you, okay, I kind of know because I read some of your posts and, you know, kind of chat. But how did you get into Iceland? Because you're not just going, so
once I put the ban on America, they were like, hey, Americans are not allowed here. I was like, okay, had a ticket. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. Like, if we were married, I'd be able to come here. And I'm not like a big believer on marriage. I get it. It's cool for everybody. And like, if we do get married one day, that's cool. If we don't, that doesn't change how I feel about you. So the fact that, like, because I'm dating someone who's from another country, the fact that it got brought up so much, it'd be so much easier if you would just get married. I'm not forcing that on us, just for paperwork. So I, being the pushy Leo I am, called the American Embassy, the foreign ambassador, foreign affairs, the travel department. I'm like, yo, let me break it down for you guys. I'm moving here. I'm building a house. I've been with this person for 3 years. And we're not tourists. I'm not a tourist. I'm not trying to go on vacation. I'm traveling. Hold on. No, hun. And I'm
sorry.
Shut the fuck up.
She's like, I love him. I love him. Hey,
cool,
shut
nice
up.
we are as a couple, and you're just running your mouth. No, guys, really, we're a good couple. It's great.
She's like, we love each other. We really do. We really.
I like him. He's tolerable. No. No, him and his friend are doing sketches for the plumbing of the house. So I actually should be a lot nicer, but
Yeah, for
so
the
I
house
was
that
like
you're gonna
back
take
and forth.
pictures of.
I'm like, sorry. I'm like talking to all these people, and I have to say that I guess because I was dealing with a smaller country, the people I spoke to were very nice. Got back to me like the next day. They were like, oh, we're really sorry to say, but like because you're not married, or even if I had lived here and I had a piece of mail in my in my name or something, it would have helped me. But I was like, I don't. I live in America, you know, so what do I have to do? And this one lady was so nice, and she found a loophole. And it said if you were a corresponding couple, which is a couple who lives together, that I was allowed basically the same rights as a married couple. The problem is that I hadn't cohabited with him yet because I'm trying to get here now to do that paperwork.
Right.
So I explained that to them. I'm like, here, and the lady was like, do you have any proof? I'm like, lucky for you, I'm one of those girls who takes 8,000 pictures of everything. So I had documented a whole relationship basically. So I sent like all the flight tickets back and forth between me and him in America, and him coming here, me going there, pictures of me with our family at Christmas, New Year's, his grandma, like him meeting my dad, working. So I was able to show a collective story through pictures that we had been together for 3 years, different trips, and the airplane tickets helped me. And pushy, so pushy. And the last man I talked to on the phone was like, Danny. They call Danny. That's how you say your name. Yao is
I
yes,
know,
Yao.
Camille, it's great,
Yao.
right?
I go, Yao. He goes, I am rooting so hard for you and Johan. He said, I really hope you get this letter. It had been 6 months we had seen each other, and even though we've been together long distance for 3 years, I had always come back and forth every 3 months. So this is the longest we had been. And 2 days later, I got my letter, and I was able to come to America. I had to fly out of Boston. They were only doing 2 flights a month out of Boston or Seattle. So I was like, well, thank God I went by Boston. So my girlfriends did a road trip. They took me because I needed lobster rolls. And we went to Boston. I got like 3 lobster rolls. And then I took 10 minutes in Boston airport. Dropped my bags. I had 4 suitcases because I'm moving. So I started bringing stuff.
Right.
They only charged me for 1, bless their soul. 1 suitcase, 10 minutes in and out. Showed them a letter. Here's my letter. I got on the plane, not even half full. I had the whole 3 seats to myself. Slept the whole time. They gave you like a bagged up water sandwich, a snack, like more things that they would normally give you if COVID wasn't happening, you know?
Right. Right.
And then I landed, and then I got here, and immediately that you get off the plane, you have to show the letter of approval that you're allowed to come through. Then you have to show your passport, and then you have to go and get a COVID test. They sit there, mouth swab you, shove it up your nose.
Oh, that test is the worst. I've had the test,
right?
by the way.
I was like, and the worst part, I'm like, yo, I'm so stupid. I shouldn't have watched the video beforehand, because immediately she's like, all right, don't flinch or move. I was like, okay. And she's like, okay, just I'm like, yo, you throw hands at someone's face, what do you think is gonna happen?
And then you shove something up their nose, man.
I was like, okay. She was like, all right,
wait,
okay.
sidebar about the COVID test, y'all. When they stick those things up your nose, I have sinus issues and allergies. When they swabbed both sides, I was like, you know, for the next 3 weeks, I had no issues.
I was just itchy and just I was like tearing for like 2 or 3 days. Johan's like, what is the matter with you? I'm like, yo, you get that thing shoved up your nose. I don't want to hear it, okay? Like,
exactly.
But like Iceland was real quick, and I got my results 18 hours later. But because I'm staying here longer than 2 weeks, I had to come back in 8 days. Which I'm really glad, because I was worried about this. I knew I was safe leading up to the airport. But who the hell knows if you catch it at the airport, and that won't show up on that test when I land. So they have you come back 6 to 8 days later, and you take it again. And then and you don't have to quarantine. I just, out of respect for his family and friends, just chose to wait until I got my second test. And and you can choose not to take the test and just quarantine. But if you just quarantine, you have to get a tracker device so they can track you, because they'll
Wow.
find your ass and deport you if you break quarantine. They're not playing around here.
They're not
like,
playing there.
no, they're like, we are 300,000 people. We cannot. We'll be extinct. Like it's not an option for you to get us all
No,
sick.
it's not.
So
Wow.
it was really good. And after all that had happened, now I'm in the process of starting my paperwork to get a permit of residency, which would allow me to stay here for a year if I wanted to.
So wait, is it going to be dual? Are you going to come back to the States, or it's just Iceland? So it's Iceland and then U.S.
I'm still gonna do my farmer market season in America. So I will still be in America from May till November. So I can still work my season and see my customers and feed my souls. You know, like I just
I can't wait to see you.
do it. I couldn't separate myself from my business. Yeah, I wasn't ready. And then
Yeah.
I'll be here from November until like May. And I'll just do it here, the same thing. Probably in a food truck though, because obviously the weather won't be on my side to be outside at a farmer market.
No.
You know, like, hey, I will take a food truck under the Northern Lights anytime. You guys need soup and some Northern Lights, just come find me, you know?
Oh, you know I'm coming, so but I guess I gotta wait until they let Americans in. I don't know. I don't need to go through all the embassy stuff that you went through.
No, and honestly, for an American traveling here, it's really simple. It's a 5-hour flight from Newark, 5.5-hour flight from Newark, 6-hour flight home. You don't need a visa, and everyone speaks English. You're just pop, pop, pop. It's so easy, and it's awesome. It's expensive, so I really highly recommend like a 4-day weekend because it is really expensive. But if you're coming to like reconnect with nature, like you'll be fine. You know, it's really if you're doing these excursions, which I highly recommend doing the glacier hikes and like going in northern.
All I need to say is you need to get it together because when I bring a group, you and Johan are going to be making sure.
We're so on it. And his parents are they own a real estate company here, so I'm looking into buying some property to rent it out for Airbnb. So fingers crossed that works out.
Yes.
I'm just trying to like bring like soul healing tribes here. I can't explain how much it helped here and here. Like my chakras are messed up, my alignments are good, my head was bad, my head is good. Clarity of mind for me here is amazing, and I really do think it's a really special place. So I really want to start hosting retreats here because it's a powerful place, man. It is. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, we already started the discussion.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait.
And I can't wait. But let's talk about. Let me backtrack just a couple of seconds. And you talked about minds and the body and the. Yeah. Let's talk about that because I want to make sure. I want to get in a lot of time for that. So let's talk about that. You posted about it. We've chatted about it. Let's talk about.
I'm huge about it.
First of all, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Malbec.
I'm drinking a Sauvignon Blanc.
What are you drinking?
Cheers, honey. Wait.
Okay,
cheers.
So in Iceland, you say skål. Skål.
What is it? Skål?
Skål. Yeah.
Skål.
Yeah.
There you go.
Awesome.
Ooh,
and
you're Icelandic.
Yo, I'm up 82 words, man. I'm really trying. But I'm really trying. But so mental health. I'm huge on this. So
let's talk about that because that's a big deal. Okay, it is a very, very big deal. It is a big deal because we don't talk about it enough.
We don't talk about it. And people feel stigmatized and embarrassed. And it's like something that is like, no. So I'm way ahead of the game because mental health for me has only really been openly discussed amongst I've always talked about it, but people, the world has only accepted mental health maybe 2-3 years ago. Has it not been deemed as that crazy bitch? All right. So instead of feeling like there's always, I have been diagnosed since I was 13. So I've been hiding this whole, I have ADHD, OCD, bipolar, depression, and anxiety, high anxiety. I have high social anxiety, which is really weird because I'm very outgoing, but I have to feel comfortable. If I'm not comfortable, you wouldn't even know I existed in the room. And and definitely moving to another country, I'm starting to see it a little bit more, like getting out of the car to go somewhere. Sometimes you just start to feel like, and I know this is in my head from being in America, but like you cannot help but think I'm the only fucking black person here.
Right.
Like they have to be looking at me because I'm black, and like everybody that I say that to that are our friends here are like, that is not the case. And it's a very open-minded country, so it's not like that. But I have noticed my anxiety has come up a little bit more. So with being 13, having ADHD, depression, bipolar, anxiety, OCD, people were like, what? Couldn't sit still in class, could not learn for shit. Like I in my head was destined to fail because I could not understand school. I could not grasp anything. Here I am with an IEP, a 504 plan, couldn't take a second language because they thought I'm not equipped to be in English. And meanwhile, like, I read 100 books a year. I take every course I can take to learn everything that I can take. I watched a 14-hour documentary on the fall of the Russian czars the other day for no reason. So, like, I enjoy learning. It's not that I don't like learning. Learning was hard for me. So, and sitting still was hard for me, and being quiet was hard for me. And so when all those things are pointed out to you in school, well, yeah, I'm going to develop depression. I'm not going to want to talk to anybody. I don't fit in anywhere. Also, being a mixed child, I did not feel I belonged anywhere. And I lived in a very white town growing up, and I just never clicked anywhere or felt belonging anywhere. So that also developed like high social anxiety because you're constantly trying to fit in. But I didn't feel like I was fitting in. I felt like I was morphing myself to be accepted in places. And like only in the last 5 years have I fully embraced that, like, yo, this is me. If you don't like it, there's a door, but yeah,
That's a process in itself.
This, honey, like my hair, my skin, my face, my hips, my curves, my voice. Like a big issue for me growing up was my voice. So people would always think I was white, and then they would come meet me somewhere and be like, oh. And it was like, does it change your fucking opinion about me now? Are you joking me?
And that's where the problem is, because it does, and it should not. And it should not.
And it's like, if they had known prior seeing me, it may have, and it's just like so many things like this have happened that caused so much anxiety, that caused such depression. Growing up in a world where this is not considered beautiful growing up. Do you know how much I burnt my hair just to fit in with the girl sitting next to me? Why? I was different. I should have embraced it. And it was just like all these factors in life developed more mental health issues on top of naturally being born with them, which other people don't understand. It is natural. You are born like that. And sometimes it blows my mind when I'm talking to my friends that you're telling me you didn't overthink this 72,000 times. This isn't stressing you out. And they're like, your brain is like that all the time. Yeah, my brain is like this all the time. All the time, like the first 2 weeks of me being here, girl, trying to not do anything. I'm working 80, 100 hours a week when I'm running the business at home. I've now entrusted my other women. I love them. They're doing a great job, but it was very hard for me to switch off. So I'm sitting here while other people would be like, vacation, vacation, vacation. I'm filled with anxiety. I felt depression because I fell out of my routine. Routine really helps me. I felt helpless, like literally useless. And because of how much work helps my mental health. Movement, like we were talking about yoga. I love my yoga people here. The teacher, the first 4 classes I took, had no idea I was an Icelandic. She doesn't speak English, and I didn't miss a single move. Okay, I took 4 flows, and I've never missed a move. Okay, every beat. And she finally spoke to me, and she goes, "You're American." She's like, "How do you know what I'm saying?" And I was like, "Yoga's universal, honey. Like, I'm good."
Yes.
Wait, that movement and routine are dire for me. So during these first couple weeks that I first got here, I fell out of that, and it was just 2 weeks. Other people would be like, "Oh, you have this time to rest." I'm like, rest for people for mental illness is not good, because if I rest, I'm not getting up.
Then the brain, then all those things in your head are actually amplified.
Absolutely. So now instead of doing something, overthinking every little thing that could go wrong, every little thing that I shouldn't be thinking of creating scenarios that were never there to begin with, and then stressing myself and making myself sick over these things. And like, this is what I try to explain to people when someone calls me and like last minute, all of a sudden I'm like, I can't come. And they're like, oh, you're such a flake. Yo, it's not a flake. It is a battle within your head.
It is hard.
It's a battle within your heart. And you know what you're doing is so rude. Like, then you feel worse for feeling rude, for having to cancel. But I'm sitting here thinking, but if I leave now, if I go here, then I'm taking away time from this, and I could be doing this, and then I'm going to lose time to do this. And other people are like, what?
And then the spiral begins.
What? Yeah.
And then there's that spiral.
And then the problem with me is like, once that spiral happens and I let one thing go, or I put off one thing, woo, for other people, it's like, just make the phone call. Like, you missed the day.
And you're like, you can't just make the phone call.
Like, yes. I can't explain how, like, missing a beat feels like I missed a year. And all of a sudden, trying to make that phone call, trying to send that email, trying to apologize for being late to something or having to cancel something is so overwhelming. You can't catch your breath that you'll be damned if you talk to that person ever again. Because you don't want to explain to you what just happened. Because society has made it so evil to be mentally sick.
Well, actually, let's backtrack a little bit. They've made it so that they don't even recognize that it is something that has to be addressed. Like, and you and I, we're very connected to this because we both have to deal with this. It's one thing, there are all these different quote unquote, not quote unquote, but they are illnesses or conditions or things like that. And they are, I think, unfortunately, society has decided what is acceptable to be considered a condition or an illness or something. Yeah. So that if you're the one that does, so if you have, and I don't say I suffer from, because I don't suffer, but I damn sure have to deal with.
I don't suffer. I live with it.
Yeah, I live with, because suffering, I don't suffer. But
no, not anymore. I had for a long time.
Right, but living with these mental illnesses and having a huge society doesn't even want to acknowledge that mental illness is a real thing. It's real. It is so real. Yeah. It's so real. And I would love for us to get to the point where we, as a society, I don't know, and I honestly don't know how it's dealt with everywhere else. I just know what I know. I'm here in America. Mm-hmm. So I would hope that here, because this is where I live, so I'm going to hope here. But anywhere else, that we start to understand that it's not something. I used to get, you'll feel better. It's just a thing. You're going to be okay tomorrow. Yeah. Just think happy thoughts. And it's like,
nothing is wrong. Nothing.
You can't think happy thoughts.
It's like,
right.
Like,
yes.
One of the biggest things I've had to deal with, because for years, obviously something was always wrong. So I always connected, I must feel this way because this is happening. Like I said, I was in a toxic relationship for like 11 years. Like, this guy was just like, whatever. And he's a great friend. He was a horrible boyfriend. And there were so many years where I connected. I must be feeling this way because of this, because of this. But in the last 5 years, things have been fucking great in my life, and I'm still dealing with it. And that's why I try to explain to people, like, you can be at the top of your game and still just feel like you can't fucking breathe.
Right.
I don't need something and that's the worst part, because you can't understand why you're feeling this way, because there's nothing that triggered it or made you feel this way or that was wrong.
It's here.
Like,
it's just here.
Yeah. And like,
here. It doesn't go anywhere.
And the whole reason why I got a hold of it is there's no room to let depression beat your ass or when you run this business. If I don't get my ass up out of work because I'm sad, who is paying my bills? I've lived on my own for 11 years and I've always paid my bills, but there's been moments where I was super sick, like super, super sick. But I had worked for a job. I had worked for somebody. So, I could explain to them what was happening, or I could miss a few days and still get paid. And like, there was more room to be sick.
Right.
There was no room for me to be
when
sick.
You own your own business, not only is there no room, but it's almost like, not almost, you have to ignore what's happening within you.
You absolutely do. You need
You have to ignore it, and you have
to get
to,
up and deal with that shit, because
yeah, and you got
you
to
don't
kind
get
of,
paid. There's no one there to help
yeah,
you. If I don't get up right now and get this done, there's those bills are still gonna be there. So
yeah,
I had to and that's when I had to learn so many different ways to cope with it, because when I was diagnosed, I was so young too, and there was no different ways to deal with it. So right away, obviously, it's just like, take this medication, take this medication, take this medication. Okay. But now I was like 13 to 23 on medication during the biggest years of your growth period, where you develop mechanisms and coping skills, and your girl had none, because I was in a drugged up coma, because dealing with
right.
mental health, the answer is just give her a pill, just give her a pill, just give her a pill. Okay, well, now I don't know how to deal with anything if I don't have pills. And what is that doing? Oh, you're setting up an entire generation to become drug addicts, is what you're doing. And it's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Because nobody's teaching them what you can do to get better. There are other ways. You don't have to just do this. And I had to, and I was going to lose my insurance. So I was like, shit, I don't know what to do. And I know myself, I was going to be a drug addict. Like, and I'm not saying like I was going to go and shoot up heroin, but I know myself.
But those are
Reality, and
drugs.
I would have fallen
Yeah.
down some. I know myself. And I was like, I need to find something to do to get better, because, or just get through it. So that's when that's when I discovered my fur babies were, get a goddamn pet. Everyone needs a goddamn pet. You need a pet. I don't care. You need something living to take care of, to feel, yes, that you have a purpose in your life. And I know it seems stupid to connect your life to something else, but like, there were days where I don't want to get out of bed, and my dogs looked at me like, if you don't feed us, we're gonna die. And I was like, you know what, I do have to get up. I guess I have to feed you. I love you. Let's do this. You know? Or like, if you don't take us for a walk, I'm gonna pee in your house. So it's like, it gives you a reason sort of to keep your routine going when you don't want to. But
Right.
so my pets really helped me, but I found I had always been a dancer, a gymnast, a cheerleader. I had always done it, but it was school curriculums, or because you know, once you're in your 20s, it's kind of like, where do you find the same outlet? And I just found dance again, and it saved my life. Movement. So
yes,
dance,
it sure does.
it really did.
Yeah.
It saved
Yes.
me to just realize like self-expression was necessary. Movement is necessary. Trauma is held in those hips. It's okay to cry for no reason, to release things like, and I took a lot of time to walk in nature alone. So other people may call it like mini pilgrimage, and I would do them. Once a week, I would dedicate 2 to 3 hours of hiking by myself. And leave your phone in the car, like hike with yourself, because
Yes.
the thoughts are always going to come, and you have to learn to hear them and deal with them. Because if you don't, you're going to use whatever you can, whether it's sex or drugs or other people, to numb them. And if you don't learn to be silent and still with your own thoughts, you'll never learn to live with mental illness. You will forever suffer with it. And that was like the best thing I could have learned to do. It's just learn to be still within myself. Like, yeah, because I am a real personal. I'm a three-time suicide survivor. So I've died and come back to life 3 times. And at very young ages, 16, 19, and 22. If I can just tell this to one person, like, dude, I'm 32, I'm living my best life. And I was gonna check out 12 years ago, 14 years ago. Like, you have to learn to hear these thoughts and deal with them, because you don't ever want to actually leave. It's a moment of weakness where you can't handle dealing and hearing with what is going on, and you think it'll never get better, and you can't stop, pause, and breathe long enough to know it will pass. If you don't learn to deal with that, you will check out. You will want to leave. You will, and that's the easy way out for you, because everyone else around you is going to mourn you. Everyone is going to feel that empty gap that will never be filled ever again. So like, people really need to talk about mental health. You really need to not make your friends feel bad. You know, a couple months ago, he wasn't my friend, but he was a friend of a friend. who had kind of reached out to people, and it was a black male, and of course they're just never addressed.
There's a stigma.
Never addressed. And he took a shotgun and blew his fucking brains out in front of his girlfriend. And this was someone who felt like there was no one there to understand, or so shameful that feeling these ways make you weak. It is not weak. It's weak to not talk about it. It's weak to not address it. It's weak to suppress it. It's weak to take all that shit out on other people in your life. So the strongest thing you ever can do is, these are my problems. These are my darkest demons.
Yes.
This is my darkest shadow. And I'm going to talk to her and deal with her every day.
Yeah.
And you have to just learn that it's never, and I wish people would understand this, you're never going to wake up one day and feel 100%. You're never going to wake up one day and all this is going to be gone. You're never going to wake up one day and feel 100% happy from the minute the sun rises to the minute the sun sets and through that whole night. It's going to come in waves. Like life is in waves. Emotions are in waves. It is a natural current and vibrancy. You move with your vibrations. I can be having the best day and something is, oh, crap. But I know that you're just like defeated. I don't want to do anything anymore. I'm just going to go park my car and I'm going to sit here and not. And then I think, but it'll pass. But I know plenty of people who it's not going to pass. You know, I just wish they would. Because I had one friend, you know, you really put a lot of stuff, you know, out there on social media. Like most people would say that's looking for attention. I would only
we're looking to, you never know who you're helping.
I go, listen, I talk about it not to talk about it for me. And yes, it does actually help me to speak about it. You know, it does, because for
it helps. But it also helps other, but especially for Black women and women of color, we don't do that. I'm so glad we're starting to shift, though. That is starting to shift. And I'm so glad that we're being more powerful with our voice in talking about mental health.
I would, if it's making you uncomfortable, that's on you. But there's someone out here who's reading this, who's definitely going to read it and think, whew, shit, all right, I can get
They're like, okay, fine. You just let me know I need to talk about it.
You know, or someone may reach out and talk to you. You could be that hand that someone's looking for. And you know what? I'm sick of people also saying that when you talk about things, you're looking for attention. Look for the attention. You are obviously in such a place in your life where you are looking for that last call of help. So don't think that someone's being selfish. They're being selfish. They're looking for someone to help them save their life. Let them be selfish for that reason, you know? And I just hate that you make people feel bad about it. It sickens me how much you make people feel bad about expressing emotions. Like that is trauma. That is your trauma that you are trying to project on the rest of the world. And I just couldn't imagine if we all just walked around acting like we were okay all the time when we're not okay. Think about how many more snaps would have, how many more breaks people would have, you know. I cannot stress enough how much I say to people, release, let go. Like, I don't care. If you need to call me and I don't need an opinion. I don't need your advice. I just need to say something. Say it. Yell, scream, vent, let it out, cry, punch with something. Do whatever you need to do to release it. Acknowledge that you felt that way and let it go. But if you don't let that go, that shit is going to build up and be so much more. You know? That's
perfect. That is actually perfect. Actually, we're almost out of time, and that's the perfect. No. This is exactly. No, I said it that way because it's like that's the perfect way to end it. But all those things you just said, that's the. And then it's okay to seek assistance. It's okay to seek help. It is okay. It is okay. It is okay. It is okay. That is the perfect way to. Now we end it, yes, but I always end it now with an affirmation.
Yes.
So give me a number between.
Energy. Hello, everybody. It was so nice to meet everybody. Thank you for checking in and listening.
Now wait.
I send you all Leo, light, and love, and prosper, baby, because 2020 is not over, and it's really not that bad of a year. If anything, all our bills are put on pause. So.
Now give me a number between 1 and 10. Give me a number between 1 and 10.
7.
4, 5, 6, 7. So the card of affirmation that you picked today is Oh, I am joyous.
I mean, I am.
And we've legit got like 10 seconds left. So, Danny, thank you so much. I miss you, sweetie.
I
And
miss
I'm
you
so
too,
happy
and I
for
can't
you.
wait. I'll see you when I get back stateside. It was
And,
nice
or I'll
meeting
see you over
everybody.
there.
Yes,
Or I'll
you
see you
too.
over there. I thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for being raw and real.
Oh, you're welcome. Lucy, I love you. Thank you for having me. Have a great
I
night,
love you,
everybody.
baby.
Bye, guys.